I gotta be honest, clout chasers are like a thing I have to like deal with nowadays. And at the same time, like as much as I don't believe that I'm considered famous in people's heads, which is weird because I don't know, kids told me I'm not. And then like when I talk to big creators that are actually like, you know, bigger creators than me, they're like, oh no, like you're average size. And in my head, I'm thinking like, what am I? Am I a basic guy? Am I famous? Like I don't know what I am at this point. But knowing you guys are always there to support me and everything, honestly, like famous or not, I just know that you guys are by my side, and that's like the coolest thing in the world. Because like I remember when I was a kid being like 15 and like not even 15, when I was like 13 and thinking that, you know, having a big audience was considered like cool. Like I don't know, I grew up on the Skydoes Minecraft days, so you guys could probably already tell that like I don't know, I've been on YouTube for a while and watching people, but knowing that I'm being watched now, it's like it's a cool reverse, you know what I mean? But this story does go crazy. And also Devil's Tango merch is still down below, so if you guys want to go check that out, go check it out. And let's get straight into this. Yo, what is going on, you guys? My name's Bubba and welcome back to another crazy story. So this story actually goes back kind of like, actually I want to say maybe like 2 or 3 years ago. So this was like my grade 12 year of high school, and I'm just, you know, me being me. And you know, around this time I really wanted to be a content creator. Like I think this was like when I decided to like become a like full-on YouTuber full time and everything. Because before, when I did it back when I was a kid, and you guys probably went back to my older videos and you guys saw like I've been, you know, making videos since 2015. That's kind of like not true, because you know I made a video in 2015, that is true, but I didn't like, I was never consistent on it until like, you know, start of last year, I believe. But no, I decided to literally like, you know, kind of put myself into that YouTube position and, you know, put myself as a content creator. And I remember that did kind of like affect my way with girls and stuff, because girls did not find content creators attractive. Hell, if there's any girls that are like, you know, looking for content creators to, you know, talk to and stuff, I mean like, hey yo, I'm here. JK, I can't date fans. Oh, I hate that word. Never mind. I don't know what to name you guys. But no, seriously, going on though, so I remember like this was a time where I wanted to be a content creator. This is when I wanted to, you know, make content, make people smile and all that cool stuff. But then I realized that like my girlfriend at the time thought it was a really dumb idea. Like she would always tell me like how like it would be embarrassing and how, you know, like you don't belong on camera and all these like crazy things. Even though it was like my true passion to become a content creator, like she always told me not to. And this channel I have right now, like Bubba Streams channel, it's been like a thing since like I want to say back like I say 2013. But like uploading on it and stuff, like I, for example, that old 2015 video was still up, and a bunch of older videos were up that I privated nowadays. And I like, you know, she knew they were up at that time, and she was like, oh, like these are embarrassing, like you should take them down, like seriously, like they're gross and like they make me look bad in front of my friends. And I kept telling her like, this is my passion, you know, this is what I want to do, this is my dream. And like she said like, no, like your dream is to go to school, study, and become a lawyer. Like, you know, funny enough, she sounded literally like my parents at the time, because my parents didn't even believe this was a job before I actually became a YouTuber. But it was really weird just, you know, having that conversation with her of like, you know, understanding how, you know, content creating is a real job and stuff and all these things. To this day, I don't think she still believes I'm a YouTuber. I think she's like, thinks like, I don't know, I scoop poop for a living or something. But no, I remember one time, like, you know, she came over to my place and we were talking about stuff, and she saw my gaming setup, and she kept complaining on how like, you know, I should just at this point delete my channel. Like she literally said this, you know, like I believe like you should actually like delete your channel. Like I don't understand why you keep making content when no one's gonna watch you. Like there's no reason for you to be sitting here hours on end making videos and stuff if no one's gonna even watch you in the first place. Now I gotta be honest with you guys. First off, I love you guys. Thank you for actually supporting my career and this, and you know, keep trying to make content. But at the same time, you know, I've been demotivated by a lot of people in my life to not be a YouTuber, not be a content creator. Of course, you know, for me though, I just need that push, and I guess, you know, seeing other content creators and being inspired by other creators, you know, really got me to this point. Now over time, me and her kept like, you know, arguing about me being a content creator or not, to the point where I was just, you know, about to leave. I was about to say, you know what, like I might as well just leave her. She's not, you know, accepting me as a content creator, and she just doesn't like me. But then I remember one night, like, you know, the night I was gonna end things, I didn't have the balls to end it because, you know, I was kind of scared and stuff. And after a while, you know, she was staying the night, so I remember me and her, we ended up doing the Devil's Tango. And I don't know what it is, but every time you do the Devil's Tango, you actually get tired. This is like a common fact that like many people deal with, okay? And like I'm serious, like everyone gets tired after doing the Devil's Tango. But then as I went to sleep, I remember I like laid down and closed my eyes, and I saw her get up, and I was curious. I was like, wait a minute, like why is she getting up? Like we literally just did the Devil's Tango. Like is she gonna like go to the bathroom? At first she went to the bathroom, and I'm like, okay, you know what, like that's fine. I can like lay down, I can close my eyes, I can sleep, like not an issue. But as I was falling asleep, I remember this girl literally like sat at my gaming setup, and she went on my computer. Now at first I was like kind of pretending to sleep because I kind of wanted to see like what she was doing, because I don't know, it was kind of weird. But then I saw her go to my YouTube channel, and she was trying to delete it. I remember literally her searching up on Google how to delete a YouTube channel. And that's when I got up and I'm like, what are you doing? Because at the time, I'm not gonna lie, the YouTube channel wasn't big. Like I had like 300 subscribers at most, but that 300 subscribers at that point was a big deal for me. Okay, like even having 100,000 right now is still a big deal for me, but back then having 300 was still a big deal, because knowing like 300 people decided to press that subscribe button, which is crazy now because 100,000 of you guys decided to press the subscribe button. I don't know, it's crazy. But knowing that this girl was going to press the delete channel button on my channel was a no-no. I remember I jumped out of the bed and I walked up to that desk and I'm like, what are you doing? She's like, oh honey, like I'm just gonna do you a favor like right now, like seriously, you don't need this channel. I think it's gonna affect our relationship forever because we keep talking about this dumb thing. And that's when I knew I had to do what was right. I remember I looked over at my channel. I saw my, YouTube channel at the screen. It looked very different than what it was now. And then I looked at her and then she said this: either you choose the YouTube channel or you choose me. That's when I knew. I looked over my channel. I was like, it was a good run. Then she told me, I knew you made the right choice. And I said, what? No, you're done. Like, I'm actually done. Like, no, you're leaving. You're done. We're breaking up. And her eyes opened wide. She started freaking out and basically like yelling. And I remember my parents walked into the room like, what's going on? Like, is everything okay? And she's just, yelling, hitting me on my chest, freaking out. Yeah, this was when I really decided like I really wanted to be a YouTuber. Cause like, I don't know, I guess I chose, the first time I actually chose, doing the devil's tango over a girl, which is kind of insane actually. I never thought I made that decision because usually girls would be over my life and everything, like, I don't know, it was crazy. And the next day after that, I started recording videos. I didn't record the best videos, but I recorded YouTube videos that I guess, made me happy. And now knowing I'm a YouTuber, making my own videos and telling you guys basically this crazy story of how, not how Bubba started, but on how, I want to be a YouTuber and committed to it was insane. Okay, so I know many people are fans of this channel, and there are many people that ultimately hate this channel. But one time, my babysitter hated this channel, and let's just say she ended up deleting it. This story does go really insane, but before we get into that, make sure you guys slap that like button, and also make sure to subscribe, because when you do, I'm able to tell more crazy stories just like this one. And other than that, let's just jump straight into today's crazy story. Yo, what is going on, you guys? My name's Bubba, and welcome back to a really embarrassing video. So today's story all takes place back when I was in grade 9. Now, if you guys don't know, I've been making videos for a very long time. I think this channel was made around 2015. So I've been making videos since like 14 years old. And I remember when I was 14, one of my dreams was becoming a content creator. So I remember there would be days where I would just be at home and recording my gameplay and doing Call of Duty cut commentary and basically just talking about life and school and basically all the things I hated about it. There are many videos privated on this channel about that, but obviously I'm not going to show them because I do end up saying names of people. And I'm not gonna lie, one of the reasons why I did it was because, well, I don't know, I guess talking smack on the internet was really common. So that's kind of what I would do over the internet when I did Call of Duty cut comms back then. And me, like I said earlier, I was only like 14 years old. So me, I would always like, go to my friends and stuff, and they all knew that I was a YouTuber, or trying to be a YouTuber at least, and that it was my dream. But obviously, once I told my friends, other people in my high school started hearing that I was a YouTuber. And there was one girl that I used to talk smack about on my channel that, let's just say, ended up hating my YouTube videos. She hated that I was a YouTuber or trying to be a YouTuber. And every time I talked about YouTube with my friends, she would always jump into the conversation saying, Bubba, you don't know anything about YouTube. YouTube's a place of being friendly and awesome and kind to each other. Honestly, I would hate to know what she thinks about the channel now, but going on with the story. And she kept basically telling me how I need to be more motivative than, destructive on the YouTube channel. And me, I ended up laughing at her, saying that, internet hate will always be a thing and it will always, get worse and worse. And she just kept being in denial about it. And I remember me and her, let's just say we never ended up getting along. But what ends up happening next in the story made me end up getting stuck with her to the point where it sucked. Because I remember that same day when I went home from school, I ended up walking up to my parents and I saw that they were packing. I wasn't sure why they were packing, but apparently there was an emergency that they had to deal with and had to go stay with a relative of mine. I remember I looked at both of them and said, wait, so do you guys want me to come? They both said no, and that they, they didn't want me to like, get in the way of anything. So they ended up telling me how they were going to hire me a babysitter. Now, like I said, I've had many babysitters, and some of them were good moments and some of them, well, they just weren't it. And I remember the same day I ended up going in my room. It was a Friday. I was playing Call of Duty. I was doing my own thing, and I ended up hearing a knock on the door. My parents go and answer it, and I heard the most irritating sound that I hated with a passion. And it was the girl that hated my YouTube channel channel in high school. I remember she ends up coming into my house, and basically she claims that she was a babysitter and wanted to know who she was babysitting. And when my parents said my name, I remember I ended up coming down the stairs, and she looked at me with her eyes wide open and started laughing, saying, I know Bubba, he goes to my school, we're in the same class. Oh my goodness, you need a babysitter? I remember at that moment I was so embarrassed. I'm like, listen, like, all you gotta do is just watch over me. It's nothing crazy. It's like us hanging out basically. And she ended up laughing and texting her friends about this, and honestly, it was just really weird. And as my parents left, I'm not gonna lie to you, things just kept getting worse and worse because I was basically stuck in the house with a hater of my YouTube channel. I didn't know what to do, and I was kind of just like looking around thinking, okay, you know what, I'm just gonna stay in my room, she's gonna watch the TV downstairs in the living room, and neither of us will bother each other. At least that's what I thought, because I remember when I went upstairs and started playing games, and I remember when I was in my room the whole time, I got really bored. So what I would do usually is record a YouTube video. So that's what I did. I was recording a video about how, like, you know, school sucks and how, like, you know, some people suck at my school, basically ranting, because that was mostly what I recorded back then when I was in high school. And I remember my babysitter ended up walking into the room saying, are you kidding me? You're recording a video? Bubba, you're not a YouTuber, you're just a loser. And basically she ended up grabbing my laptop that I was recording with, and she ended up grabbing it and running downstairs with it. I remember I got super upset and I started chasing her down the stairs, and I basically started chasing her all around my house just to get my laptop that I was recording with. She ended up throwing it on the kitchen table. Luckily, nothing bad happened to it, but still, I was really annoyed because she ruined my entire video. So I ended up taking my laptop upstairs and shutting my door and slamming it. And let's just say what she ended up doing next made me cry into tears, because I remember later on that night, it was super late and I was just, you know, doing my own thing, and I was, you know, getting ready for bed. And as I was laying in bed, I remember I ended up passing out, kind of sleeping, but not fully sleeping. And I ended up hearing someone go into my room, take something, and leave. Now, I didn't know who it was, and I was really just like confused. So I ended up basically getting up in the middle of the night, like 20 minutes later, and I started heading downstairs to see what was going on. When I went downstairs to see what was going on, I remember I saw my babysitter with my laptop. I was so confused, and I looked at her saying, yo, what are you doing with my laptop? Like, what? And then she ended up saying, Bubba, I just deleted your YouTube channel because, let's be real here, you're not meant to be on YouTube. I remember at that moment, I got so angry, and I ended up yelling, are you kidding me? Who do you think you are? And I ended up running up to her, pushing her out of the way, like literally body checking her as if I was playing like football. And I grabbed my laptop, ran upstairs, and I just stayed on that thing, trying to get YouTube support to help me out and basically try to figure out how I can get my channel back. Obviously, at the time, the channel only had like 100 subscribers. It was nothing crazy. It was nothing big. I think only my relatives, my mom, and probably some friends at school only subscribed to the channel. But the channel meant a lot to me, and I knew one day I wanted to be a YouTuber. So I ended up going through my channel. I ended up going through everything I could, going through emails, contacting YouTube support, trying to find any way to get my channel back. Luckily, I ended up finding someone that was able to get the channel revived and get the channel back from being deleted. And when I got it back, I was really happy. You guys have no idea how happy I was. And honestly, if I never did get the channel back, this channel wouldn't exist, because it was this exact channel that ended up reviving. Anyways, guys, that is basically it for today's crazy story. Make sure you guys press that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And like I always say, follow for more embarrassing stories just like this one. Peace out, guys. My channel got stolen by one of my friends, and if you guys don't subscribe, your channel will be stolen. Yo, what is going on, you guys? My name's Bubba, and welcome back to a really insane story. This story all starts off 3 years ago, and I am not joking. 3 years ago was when I made this channel become Bubba. This was when Bubba became Bubba, and basically all the insane stories I tell you now on this channel used to be all gone. I remember back 3 years ago when I first started doing YouTube videos and started telling stories. I remember I was pretty out of pocket. There were some stories on this channel where I would end up actually saying full-on names of people, and let's just say it got me into a lot of trouble. I remember 3 years ago, me and my friends, we decided to all go hang out one time and basically go and just have a good time, hang out with the boys. You know, nothing new. We were the same boys since high school, and I'm not gonna lie, even though some of us didn't grow up, most of us did. And I remember when me and all the boys were going out, hanging out, doing our own thing, one of my friends ended up walking up to me. He walked up to me and said, yo, Bubba, isn't that like one of your homies from back in middle school? Now, I've told many stories from middle school, and I remember when my friend brought this guy up, I ended up looking at him saying, oh yeah, that is the guy from middle school. Now, this guy he ended up pointing out to, actually, I used to talk about a lot on this channel. He was my middle school bully that, let's just say, I never liked. I'm not joking. He actually scarred me for many moments of my middle school life. And I remember when I saw him, instantly, I looked towards his direction. And you know that feeling when you're being watched? Well, he felt that from me, and he ended up looking towards me and saw it was me. Now, this moment, I thought he didn't recognize me. I'm not gonna lie, I had a beard, I looked totally different. I did not look like normal Bubba from back in middle school. But right away, as he looked at me, he looked dead in my eyes. And I am not joking. He knew exactly who I was. At that moment, I was freaking out. I was like, oh, I think he recognized me. Let's go outside. Let's go outside. So me and my friends, we ended up going outside. And I remember he ended up following us outside and walked up to me saying, yo, Bubba, is that you? Now, if you guys don't know, my real name's Arash. So for him to call me Bubba was actually kind of funny because Bubba is like my internet name. It's what you guys call me, and you guys are the Bubba gang. So obviously, like, you know, it was really weird seeing people I knew in real life call me Bubba. But when he called me Bubba, I knew at that moment he definitely knew about my channel, because the only people that would call me Bubba were people that knew I was an internet storytelling Devil's Tango master. So I remember he ended up walking up to me calling me Bubba, and I said, yo, like, what's going on? And he ended up basically wanting to catch up. He basically was being really nice to me and really kind to me, and me and him, we actually became good friends that night. We ended up all going back into the bar, having a good time, drinking and doing all the good things in life and being good to each other. But I'm not gonna lie to you, at this moment something was up, because all the stories I've told about him were bad stories about how he ruined me. And it was funny because he would bring up the channel, but he would never mention the stories that he was in. And I'm not gonna lie to you, things ended up getting a lot worse, because I remember a couple days went by, and I remember me and him, we would always, like, you know, talk through our phones, and basically we would always end up hanging out more and more. Me and my middle school bully actually ended up becoming good friends, as weird as it was. And I remember as me and him became good friends and we started talking more and stuff, it got really weird because he would never actually end up bringing up the videos where I talked about him, until one day I remember he actually ended up coming over to my place. I invited him over because he wanted to hang out and see how this whole YouTube thing works. So I ended up bringing him over. He looked at my setup and he was actually amazed about how much work I actually put into becoming a creator. And then I remember he ended up sitting at my desk looking at my gaming setup, and me, I looked at him and thinking nothing was gonna happen, I ended up deciding to go to the bathroom. Now, I'm gonna say this right now. If you have a computer or a gaming setup or even your iPhone, never leave it on without a password, because who knows what the person in that room with an open device might do. So I remember as I went to the bathroom, I went to go take a quick waz, and right after my bathroom break, I ended up coming back out and I saw he was on my computer looking at just my YouTube channel. He was scrolling through my videos, and I remember it got to a point where he stopped scrolling and clicked on the video where I ended up making fun of him on. He opened it and he's like, oh, this is my favorite story. And he ended up basically watching it with me. And I'm not gonna lie to you, it's weird when I watch my videos with my friends, but watching a video about a person that's in the same room as me that I made was the most awkward thing ever. Because I remember at moments where I would make fun of him, he would look towards me and be like, yeah, so this is what you think of me, really? This is exactly what you think of me? You never maybe thought to ask, you know, to post about me? I ended up looking at him being like, yo, like, I never said your name, nothing. Like, I would never say your name. I was being nice. And me being nervous and stuttering and freaking out about this guy basically confronting me about the videos, he ended up saying this: Bubba, you're gonna regret posting stories about me. I'm gonna say that right now, so just prepare yourself. I remember at that moment I was pretty weirded out. I'm like, yo, was that like a threat? Like, what are you trying to do here? No, it's not a threat, just don't worry about it. Just honestly keep being you, man. See where it gets you. And he ended up standing up and walking away. Now, that moment I didn't really know what that meant. He ended up leaving my house in anger, and honestly I ended up being scared, just sitting in my room thinking, what does that mean? Did he cast a spell on me? Is everything just gonna disappear one day? And let's just say, yeah, everything was gonna disappear. Because I remember the next day when I woke up in the morning and I went on YouTube to search up my channel, I ended up getting a 404 page saying how this channel didn't exist. I was so confused, and I remember I ended up basically reaching out to YouTube support to see what was wrong, to see if I got banned or anything. I didn't know what was going on. I remember at that moment I ended up basically, you know, tweeting out on Twitter, but by the way, you guys should follow my Twitter because I give out the latest updates on there. And I basically tweeted out saying, yo guys, my channel, I think something happened to it. I'm not sure, but just want to say I'll figure things out soon. And right after when I sent that tweet, 5 minutes later, I ended up getting a text message from this bully that was from my middle school. He ended up texting me saying, about time something bad happened. And at that moment, I knew instantly when he texted me that he was the reason why all this happened. That time when I left him alone in my computer, he deleted my account. I'm not joking. I was upset. I was so angry, and I was so mad to the point where I remember I ended up actually opening another YouTube channel, which is the second channel, and I ended up basically posting on there saying, hey guys, like, sorry, we're gonna get things figured out. And me, that whole weekend, I ended up actually contacting YouTube support to figure things out. Luckily, YouTube's actually a great platform, and they listen to the creators and they actually help out and make sure things go right. But I am not joking when I say this. The next day afterwards, I ended up realizing that there was a video that I did not upload on that channel. I ended up going onto the channel and seeing what was on there, and I ended up seeing a video of my middle school bully basically posting photos about me from back when I was in middle school. A lot of people in the comments were laughing and stuff because obviously at this time I didn't really show my face a lot on the YouTube channel. So obviously it was a little weird and kind of crazy how he kind of just doxed me in a way and doxed what middle school I went to and everything. And I started panicking. And at the end of the video, I remember I saw he ended up putting a message up saying, "From your middle school bully, hope you enjoyed this." And then afterwards, he ended up shutting off the camera. I ended up freaking out and I was really upset. At that moment, I knew the first thing I had to do was change all my passwords, become smart with everything, and make sure there was no way for him to ever get in contact with my channel again. And at that moment, I learned as well to never trust anyone from back in high school that you talked bad about. Anyways, follow for more embarrassing stories. Peace out, guys.